Hello students, welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at the topic government. Specifically though, for this video, we will be looking at the branches of government. We all know by now that there are three branches of government. They are the legislative branch of government, the executive branch of government, and the judiciary branch of government. Now, you must be wondering, but miss, what are the roles and the functions of these branches of government that you have mentioned? Well, the role of the legislative, and there are many other roles and functions of each branches, but specifically the main role of the legislative branch of government of a country is to make, amend, and repeal laws. The main role of the executive branch of government is to set policies to guide the country. The main role of the judiciary branch of government is to ensure that laws are fairly applied. Now, we're going to go in depth into the legislative branch of government, right? Now, do you believe that laws are important? Are laws really important to a country? Well, I know most of us answer would be yes, and you are very much correct. Laws are important to any society, right? And we have the legislative arm of government of a country, right? In many countries, the legislature is the body that deals with making the laws of a country. And as I said before, that is the main role or the main function of the legislature. However, there are other functions, and you may be asked to identify three functions of a legislative branch of government, right? You could also write the legislative branch of government amend or alter existing laws. They repeal those laws which are no longer applicable or relevant to society. You could also write the legislative arm of government also ratified international treaties, right? So those are just some of the other functions of the legislative branch of government. Now, what is the composition of the legislature? In other words, what are some of the persons, individuals, the organizations, the different committees that are a part of the legislative branch of government in a country? The legislature is consisted of, so these are some of the individuals that are a part of the legislative branch of government. We have the House of Representatives, and we are going to look at what that is further down in the lesson. We have the Senate, the President, if it's a republic country, we have the President. If it's a democratic country, we have the Prime Minister, and the Governor General is also a part of the legislative branch of government. Have you ever heard the term Parliament? What comes to mind when you hear the term Parliament? And I want you to write that term in your notebook. Parliament. Well, if your answer is Parliament is the lawmaking body of a country, you are definitely correct. So Parliament is the lawmaking body of a country, and the legislative branch of government is a part of that body because they also deals with amending, making, and repealing laws. Now, in most countries, the legislature, and I want you to follow me now, students. In most countries, the legislator or the legislative branch of government is consisted of a bicameral legislature or an unicameral legislature. All right, let me repeat that again. In many countries, the legislature can be bicameral legislature, or there can be a unicameral legislature. Now, when you hear the term bicameral legislature, what comes to your mind? Bi means two, right? So bicameral legislature means there are two houses in parliament. Bicameral legislature means there are two houses in parliament. Unicameral legislature would means that there is only one house in parliament. So let us recap that quickly. So parliament is the law-making body of a country. In parliament, there is the legislative branch of government, which also deals with making laws, repealing laws, and amending laws. Now, the legislative branch of government in any country can be bicameral legislature or unicameral legislature. Bicameral legislature, if a country has a bicameral legislature, that means there are two houses in parliament. If a country has a unicameral legislature, that means there is only one house in parliament. And students, I hope that you are getting that. Now let us look at these terms individually. Bicameral legislature. Remember we says that bicameral legislature means that there are two houses in parliament. A country that has a bicameral legislature means that there are the House of Representatives and the Senate in Parliament. Let me repeat that. A country that has a bicameral legislature means that that country, their parliament, is consisted of a House of Representatives and a Senate. Now, in a democratic system, the Prime Minister, the Senate, and the House of Representatives forms the Parliament. And remember we says that Parliament is the law-making body of a country. So in a democratic country in the Caribbean, their parliament, if they have a bicameral legislature, their parliament is consisted of the two houses in parliament, which are the Senate and the House of Representatives, and there is also the Prime Minister. In some republic countries, such as Trinidad and Tobago, there is a bicameral legislature also. And this means that they have a House of Representatives and a Senate. And their parliament is also consisted of a president. So in a democratic system in the Caribbean or a democratic country within the Caribbean, Parliament is consisted of a bicameral legislature, meaning that there are two houses in Parliament. There are the Senate and the House of Representatives. And the Prime Minister now would complete the Parliament. So in a democratic system, we have the Prime Minister, the Senate, and the House of Representatives forming the Parliament. In a republic country in the Caribbean, such as Trinidad and Tobago, they also has a bicameral legislature. meaning that their parliament is consisted of a Senate, House of Representatives, and their president. Another name for the House of Representatives is the lower house. I want you to remember that. Another name for the House of Representatives is the lower house. Another name for the Senate is the upper house. Now, by now, I know that you guys are saying, Miss, you do not have to go through the unicameral legislative because we already know what that is. But for information, the unicameral legislature is consisted of only one house in parliament. And for your assignment, I want you to go and research which country in the Caribbean practices unicameral legislature, meaning that they only have one house in parliament. Now let us look at the Governor General. The Governor General is mostly used in democratic countries because the monarch is the head of state in some Caribbean countries. Now, the monarch is usually the queen and she lives in England, right? So the queen cannot be present for every occasion that she's needed in the Caribbean, right? So there's a person or an individual that represents the queen. And this person, we call him or her the Governor General. So the Governor General is the person who represents the monarch in democratic countries where the monarch is the head of state. So some of the functions of the Governor General is to represent the Queen in Parliament. Another function of the Governor General is to give the throne speech, and this is done once a year at the start of Parliament. So once Parliament is dissolved and it is going to restart, the Governor General is the person who gives that throne speech representing the Queen, right? Another function of the Governor General in a democratic country is also to sign bill into law. So a bill cannot become a law until the Governor General signs. All right. So those are just some of the functions of the Governor General. Now I want you to look at this picture. Can you identify which legislative system is being shown here? Is this a bicameral legislature or is this a unicameral legislature? I want you to look at this. This is Parliament. This is a picture showing Parliament. In Parliament, we says that it can be consisted of a bicameral legislature or a unicameral legislature. So from looking at this picture and knowing what the term bicameral legislature means and what the term unicameral legislature means, can you identify which legislative system is being shown here? Is it bicameral or is it unicameral? I'm going to give you a few seconds to just observe this picture. All right. And I know you know the answer to this question. So the picture is showing a bicameral legislature. And the bicameral legislature is consisted of two houses in Parliament. We have the House of Representatives, also called the lower house, and we are also seeing the Senate, which is also called the upper house. All right, students, so in another video, we are going to continue looking at the legislative arms of government. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Also remember to watch the ads that are being shown on the video. I want to thank you so much for watching, students, and I hope that my videos will assist you greatly in your preparation for your CXC Social Studies examination. See you in another video.